Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. We've had quite a lot of messages and phone calls and whatnot in the last 24 hours, I guess. So yesterday, I was busy calling dealers because we have some pickups for Monday, and I'm trying to arrange appointments. And I'm calling them, and one of the guys I get a hold of, I'm asking him, hey, what time like does this work for you? And he's telling me, well, the Premier of Ontario is about to announce something for the construction industry in terms of the essential services list. And so right now I'm just holding off any new digs. And so that's when I had no idea that was going on. So I flipped over to CBC to check it out. And lo and behold, they updated the list. So today we're going to go over what that list talks about and what that means for the industry, what that means for you, and just kind of preparing for what's ahead. So thank you for tuning in this fine Saturday morning. It's gorgeous out, and I think there's going to be a lot of people that get in trouble this weekend for going out. But if you can go out and enjoy it, and keep up with the social distancing and whatnot, I'm gonna wave to some of the viewers here. Uh, I in my opinion, you're all right. Like I go for runs all the time, and if I come across someone, I'm giving them lots of space. But it's just so damn hard to see a perfect day like this, and you gotta stay close to home. So anyways, the essential services list, we posted it on our Facebook page yesterday. You can just Google it as well, just Ontario essential services list, because they just took the list and they updated it, and they updated it right away, like right after that speech was done. So I would imagine that we're going to hear more today and in the following days. But as of right now, if you look at the essential services list, look at number 20 and number 30. So number 20 talks about maintenance for like property maintenance and whatnot. So in the category of maintaining water chemistry and looking after stuff for sanitary purposes, I would say that falls into that category. But again, in the days ahead, that could change. So it's being updated like every single hour. So the number 30 talks specifically about construction projects, and it goes into, there's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 clauses in this, but it's number 30 30-3 or whatever. And it talks about, if you, as of the end of today, April 4th, if you have already started a project, then you can continue on with it. However, if by the end of today you haven't started a renovation job, then you are to not do any new builds or start any projects, is essentially what they're saying. So with that in mind, I've talked to several dealers. I've been active on Facebook, paying attention to the Pool and Hot Tub Council. We got an email from them yesterday as well, and they had advised at the time no new builds, and if you were building currently, to stop operations and whatnot. But according to that clause, I would say you want to continue on, because having a hole in the ground isn't really beneficial for anyone. So moving forward, what does that mean for you? Well, if you are currently working on a project and you have to see it through, I would make sure you're in contact with your concrete company to make sure that you can still get concrete or secure concrete for it. Um, and then also, obviously, you want to practice safe, social distancing, safe procedures for the protocols and whatnot. Um, I've seen, just talking with dealers and just seeing what they're posting on Facebook and whatnot. There have been a couple that they've had people snitching on them for having two people in a work truck. So I guess moving forward, I would try to avoid that as much as possible. If you have masks or protective equipment, and you have to do two people to a truck, that you at least want to be seen wearing that at all times, to show like, hey, we are trying to follow procedures. We do have work that has to be done. So just you gotta kind of go along with what they're saying to ensure that your employees are safe, you are safe, and your customers are safe, and then you can continue on as much as you see fit, I guess. I guess I'll take this moment to say, if you do have any liner replacements that you got to do, I mean, our picture measuring system, you only need to send one person to go measure it. In some circumstances, you could even coach your customer to take the pictures and the measurements for you. So we are at Highbury Pools, we are still going to continue. We have a reduced staffed. We are following protocols. We have protective equipment, socially distanced, and so I mean, obviously with a reduced staff, if there's a lot of orders that come in, it's going to be more of a backup than usual, which I'm sure everyone will be okay with. But just so you know, we are still operating. For what this means for you is, like, we are still building steel kits. We're still building liners. We still have lots of product that we can distribute. Over this past week, just seeing all the measures that were coming down the pipeline, and all the implications that are taking place, I would say, I was thinking, after this is over, because what this is doing, what this is basically, it's like picture tying a knot, and it's slowly getting down to being tight, and that's kind of what's happening with the industries globally, basically right now, is it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and they're we're getting closer to, I'd say, maybe an all-out lockdown for a couple weeks, right? Who knows if that's going to happen? I don't know, but we are preparing for this. So I looked ahead at, okay, this is going to affect other industries. So moving ahead, let's say 6 weeks down the road, everything, like maybe 6 weeks down the road, maybe 2 months, this thing kind of runs its course, and we're able to get back into the swing of things a little bit at a time. Other industries are going to be disrupted as well. So we're doing our part to make sure that we have more than enough supplies now, so that when that kink in the hose lets loose and industries get fired back up, we want to be prepared so that when the orders come in, we have more than enough to supply you guys moving forward. For instance, last year we had a salt disruption. So I could only imagine what's going to happen this year. So we took it upon ourselves to order in more than enough stock, more than usual, of what we usually carry. for those reasons. So we're trying to look ahead, and I would advise you guys as well, if you have I guess if you have orders that you know are going to happen, and it's literally just these protocols that are kind of getting in the way, then you could be stocking up right now so that you are set once the protocols are lifted. You can get to work right away. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to deal with the mad rush of everyone else getting their orders in and having to wait for the backups and whatnot. Because even the shipping companies this week, talking with them, they said it's extremely busy, which it makes sense because, you know, shipping direct shipments and whatnot are becoming more and more popular, obviously because of the protocols that are in place. So shipping can be disrupted. Like I said, salt, that could be disrupted. So it's just trying to plan ahead, right? The one thing that we have been starting to tell our customers is that like we can still build steel kits. So if you're worried about securing contracts, getting installments and whatnot, you could have the kit built, shipped, and then have it at the property to collect an installment. That way it's there. You're just waiting for the ability to start the dig. That could put you light years ahead after this thing has run its course. So that's one thing that I would kind of think about right now is how can you prepare, making the most sense for you, but how can you prepare for once this is lifted? So that's kind of the mindset that we've interpreted here, and so we're going to be as prepared as possible for the mad rush that's bound to happen by the end of this. Because I think, yeah, in terms of the economy, the stock market, it's not doing so well either. However, a lot of people coming out of this, the travel industry is probably going to be decimated for the next couple of years. So the staycation aspect is just going to flourish, and money it's the cheapest it's ever been. It's probably going to get even cheaper, and it's gonna, by the end of this, governments are gonna have to put it in place where people are going on a spending frenzy because they got to cover their butts for what they're spending stuff on right now, which they have to spend. So I can foresee this being a benefit for the pool industry moving forward. With that being said, I was talking with a friend of mine who works at the Canadian Taxpayer Association just this morning, just trying to get some details on like what this means for the economy and the outlook, and just to kind of get some tools for you guys. The one thing that hasn't really been, I guess, laid out properly is the financial aid for small business owners. So she provided me with the website that goes over. It explains how all it works, the steps you got to follow and whatnot. And actually, I have it pulled up here. So if I can, there we go. Oops. Turn this off. One sec, Lynn. I will get to your question in a second here. So this here, it's on the Canada.ca website. Again, I'll post this right after so you guys can access it. But yeah, so it just kind of goes over the support for businesses. I haven't had a chance to go in depth and read it, but from my understanding, it provides all the steps for you if that's something that you need to do. So, okay, what's our question here? I have question I have is new pool construction we can't do, but what about liner changes? Does this fall under maintenance? Um, I would, and again, this is just my interpretation of it, and this is changing, every single day. But as of the end of today, if you have started a rental project, then you can continue on. And maintenance, number 20 on that essentials list, maintenance of a property. Uh, let's say if you have a liner that's, it's reached its peak and it's, um, starting to, if it's leaking or if there's any sort of damage to it or if you're already in the process of it, maintenance of a pool, I would say that would fall under it. That's my interpretation. So you might have to check with your local municipality if you can. But as far as I'm concerned, it does fall under maintenance if you're looking after a property. Uh, but again, you gotta use common sense. You gotta be you gotta follow the protocols. Make sure that everyone's safe. Uh, if you need to have more protective equipment, or if you only have a couple people that are going out there and following the socially distanced rules, and check with your customers as well, just to make sure that they're comfortable with it too. But again, that's one thing. And I got actually, if you follow the Pool and Hot Tub Council on Facebook, they had put something out last night that they're trying to decipher with the maintenance clause of it. But again, you I would argue that you can, because it would fall under maintenance. But if that's not the case, then obviously you can't. But I would say that I again I personally would say that falls under maintenance if they need the liner change immediately. Um, but again, it can be interpreted in several ways. I'm going to be paying close attention to the Pool and Hot Tub Council recommendations as well. Um, so we'll be constantly posting updates as soon as we get them, and different things that we hear. So one thing, I'm not sure if I mentioned this or not, but if you are currently doing a rental project and you're looking for concrete, I would definitely reach out to your concrete company to make sure that you can still get that concrete, because talking with a dealer yesterday, he was saying that he reached out to his concrete company just to ask him how they were moving forward and if he could still get concrete, and they told him that they were only going to supply essentially the essential services, such as like infrastructure for hospitals and that sort of thing. So I would touch base with different all your suppliers and just kind of get a feel of what's going on with them, because obviously, just because they're listed as essential doesn't mean that they might, out of precaution, shut down. So something to be aware of. Also, another website that we had posted on our Facebook page earlier this week, very helpful for the pool industry, is, again, the Pool and Hot Tub Council. They created this website, and I will go back to it here. So this website, if you just look up the Pool and Hot Tub Council of Canada, just Google it, this pops up on their website. So you can go onto their website and then click right away. But for your own viewing, and again, we posted this website on our Facebook page, so that that's the website address right there. So it's Pool and Hot Tub Council Canada, the abbreviated form, COVID-19.ca. And on this website, again, it's got all the updates relating to the Canadian pool and spa industry. You can go down and click here for government updates. And so this takes you to the Government of Canada webpage. What else was on? Oh yeah, provincial updates. So you can view here, and right here you can check on all the provinces, check all their guidelines and whatnot. Let's go to New Brunswick. So if you're living in a different province than us, I would love to get to hear what the guidelines are for you guys as well. I've been paying close attention to the Ontario one, obviously because it impacts our facility, but yeah, it's just they also have the chapter president there. What else we got? If we go to the Ontario one, so it's got the the different chapter presidents, so you can reach out to them if you're if you do want to know for sure a better grasp on. Let me turn this back around. Get set up. So. Lynn had asked the question if liner replacements fell under the category of maintenance. If you want to know for sure, I would reach out to your chapter president because they would have more insightful information than I do right now. But again, that maintenance clause is it is open to interpretation, but again, use your best judgment as well. So. Yeah, that's pretty much everything we got going for you. I will stress this: if you do have items that you are picking up at Highbury Pools, this is a clause we enacted the start of last week. We only are allowing staff into the building. We have the front door locked, so you cannot come in. You will have to either call or email your order ahead of time, and we're also trying to schedule appointments so that we don't have more than one person coming at a time. And again, that's for your own protection as well, because if we have 4 or 5 people that show up all at once wanting stuff, or they call right as they're about to pull into the parking lot, like it's not ideal, because we not only are we dealing with a reduced staff, but then we also have a lot more people than necessary at all at once. So please call ahead or email, and we will let you know what time works. And again, if I would look for, think down the road here, because eventually these protocols are going to be lifted, and once they are lifted, the floodgates are going to open. So you can prepare right now by saying, oh, you know what, I do have people that I have reached out to, and they are still going to go ahead for whenever we're able to build again. So you could get your orders in now, we could ship them now, and you could have it at the property, or if you wanted to keep it in your yard, that's obviously it's up to you, but you could have it at the property so that you could collect another installment and kind of basically secure that contract, and just say, you know what, with the current protocols, I cannot legally install this right now, but they at least know, they have the comfort to know, yes, we're going through with it. You're getting a pool as soon as this these bans lift. So um, that's one way that you can prepare yourself by getting your orders in now, as this knot keeps tightening and it gets tighter and tighter. And also think ahead for like any chemicals or salt, those sort of things. If you need stocked items, are you offering special terms for kits? That is something that we have been discussing. We could, we were talking about maybe possibly doing something similar to an early buy, because obviously we got to work with you guys and make sure that everyone can proceed as best they can, right? So yeah, we can definitely work with you guys and figure out something that makes the most sense for both of us, because like I said, it's going to make a lot more sense to have things getting prepared now and shipped out to you guys ready for when you guys can actually build again. To have it, to you guys have that, so you guys can get right to work without having to wait for you know your order to show up. Because what's going to happen, like I said, this is like a kink in the hose, and people are really going to be stressing the staycation for the next couple of years. The governments are going to figure out some sort of plan to try to pay for everything that they're spending money on right now. So I would see a lot of incentives and a lot of um, just programs that are geared towards people spending money in large portions to get that economy flowing again. Did you hear anything about how many people are allowed in a work vehicle? I have, and what? So I've been talking with dealers. I've been following the stories on Facebook and whatnot, and there are people that are getting snitched on for having more than one person in a work truck. So I would advise sending one person per truck out. I have not heard if people are wearing, because I have seen some dealers have showed up. They have more than one person in the truck, but the second person is wearing like a mask and whatnot. So I would say that if you have to send two people out in a work vehicle, that they are visibly wearing their protective equipment, so that it just shows, to the neighbors and whatnot that they're following protocols and they're being safe and whatnot. Are pool openings considered maintenance? At this point, like I said, it's the number 20 maintenance is kind of open for interpretation, but I would say that pool openings for sure would be considered maintenance, because if you don't properly open it, then you have a stagnant body of water, which is going to breed more disease. So again, you make sure that you have the proper gear, you're following the safe protocols, and obviously check with your customers to make sure that they're okay with you still coming, and B, that they aren't infected, right? So that would be my interpretation of it. And again, if you really want to make sure, like I said, the Pool and Hot Tub Council of Canada released a website this past Wednesday, which we posted on our Facebook. And it's, again, the Pool and Hot Tub Council of Canada, so PHTCC, COVID, COVID 19, so that's all one word, .ca. And that website has all the up-to-date information, and they are, that is the go-to site, I would say. We are posting updates as soon as we can. We're following close attention to everything that's going on, obviously. So one thing that you can do is, and we just talked about this a little, like 5-10 minutes ago, is if you go on that website, you can find your specific province, click on that for your specific province updates. And then you can also, right at the top of the page, when you get to your province, it has your chapter representative or representatives. So you can reach out to them. It's got their email. You can email them and find out, for sure what the protocols are, and what their recommendations are. Hey Steve, hope you guys have a great and safe summer. Thanks. You too. You too. Um, but again, I would say, obviously, follow the safe protocols, have the protective gear on hand, ready, wearing it if you have more than one person in a truck. By all, I would say try to send one person per truck. With gas prices the way they are, it's not too much of a burden. It's a pain in the ass, but it's not too much of a burden. And if it saves lives, then it's not a burden at all. In terms of the liner replacement question, does liner replacements are they considered maintenance? Again, I would further reach out to your chapter presidents or representatives and just get some more details on this. Just reading the clauses in there, if you've started a reno by the end of today, you can continue on with it. And I would argue that if you have a customer that has a liner that needs replaced, like it's leaking or it's ripped or whatever, that would fall under the category of maintenance, is how I interpret it, right? But again, that's just how I interpret it. The argument there is, if it could cause a lot of damage. It's, for the openings, it's stagnant water, which breeds disease, which you don't need more of right now. So you're kind of obligated to maintain the pool. And then, lastly, I've been pushing this argument for the past couple weeks because people are like, oh, why are people still building pools, or why are people starting to build pools and whatnot? And I'm saying, well, if you think about it, having a pool is going to keep more people home, which is what they are wanting people to do, right? So that's kind of kibosh now. So no new builds in Ontario moving forward right now. But again, be prepared. Think long term here. What's going to happen after this is the kink in the hose is going to let loose, and people are going to be, I want my pool open. I want my pool built, and a flurry of orders are going to come in, and it's going to be chaotic for a while. Plus, other industries have been disrupted as well, as I mentioned, like the salt industry. Just that one comes to mind. I'd say the product industry and whatnot. Those industries are also getting disrupted, so they're going to have a back order to fill as well. So what you can do to be proactive right now, and as we discussed, we're going to come up with some terms and whatnot to help people out. But I would highly advise to stock up or get your orders in now, so that we can continue on building them and shipping them for as long as we can, because what's eventually going to happen, like I said, is there's probably going to be a total lockdown for a couple weeks or something. And then there's going to be a backlog. So trying to get as much out as we can to get you guys set for when the floodgates open, you guys can just get right to work and not have to worry with all the backlogs and stuff. So, just think ahead. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, we're gonna keep you guys updated as much as with everything that's going on. I think what I'll do, because I've done this past couple weeks, is just on Saturday morning, just done a live with everything that's going on, because it seems to change daily. Sometimes it changes hourly, but there's a lot of stuff to kind of recap throughout the week. So I'm perfectly cool with doing a 10:30 Facebook Live for, however long this takes to kind of keep everyone updated. And obviously, if you like us on Facebook, our Facebook fan page, which we're doing this live on, that's going to be where we're posting the most amount of updates. So make sure that you like us, and if you guys have any stories you want to share or have any comments, do so. Just comment below. For what you guys are dealing with in your specific area, because this way we can kind of look after each other, right? And say, hey, this is, if you've been shut down, or if you've been had some, if you found out a piece of information that would be beneficial for everyone, definitely share it, because like I said, this is it's a fascinating time for sure. So the more we can communicate and keep each other updated, the better it's going to be for an industry as a whole. So hope you guys stay safe and enjoy the weather this weekend. But again, follow the protocols in place. But yeah, let's enjoy the sunshine. Actually, before you leave, I wanted to share this because for those in London have probably noticed this. And again, one day I will figure out how to make this so it's not backwards. But this says keep smiling. These two girls here, they're 11 years old? 11 and 9. And I wanted to point that out. It says keep smiling because they've been going around the neighborhoods in their neighborhood in London here, and with chalk, they're writing all these positive messages, and I see it I'm pretty sure they live right around where I live, because whenever I go out on my runs, I see them in the neighborhood over here. Not them, but I see their messages on the sidewalk. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, give you some positivity, and thanks gives me an idea of what's likely coming our way. Absolutely, Corey. Thanks for tuning in. Susan, thank you for tuning in. And again, if you guys have any comments, stories, questions, whatever, feel free to share them below. Because if we can keep each other updated and safe, that's all the better. So take care. Have a great weekend.